Hello, this is Operation Bersaglieri. This is the German Empire, summer 1914, the first of World War One for Germany. There was an error when I started the recording, but it's fine since only the tech was rolled. But Germany rolled for poison gas, defense in depth, and wartime economy, missing poison gas and wartime economy. So defense in depth is moved to stage 1. I think, yeah. So, Germany missed 2 out of their 3 and got defense in depth to stage 1. The German purchases, they have 4 IPP, and they placed their 6 reserves this turn. Along with the 4 IPP will be spent on an influence roll for Norway, the Netherlands, and a colonial infantry. Let's just roll those influence rolls. The influence roll for Norway at a 3 or higher. Miss. And then the influence roll for the Netherlands at 2 or less. Or sorry, did I say 3 or higher? 2. All right, nice. So the Netherlands goes back to neutral. So that was well worth the money. The Germans have quite a lot of attacks this turn. And to simplify it all, I've split the units up into 3 army groups. Army Group 86 is in East Prussia is in Eastern Germany currently, and Germany will use its offensive plan ability to pick up 4 infantry and 1 artillery and move it to East Prussia. So we can do that. So the 86th Army, or 4 infantry and 1 artillery, are now in East Prussia due to the offensive plan. Then, the attacks which will be done by Germany. Let's start off with the simple ones. We have, or I'll just declare all the attacks first. We have a seaplane attacking a Russian sub on maritime air patrol. We have the Zeppelin in Western Germany bombing the Paris factory. We have the stack of artillery in Bavaria attritioning Lorraine. We have different various convoy raiding occurring, and also here in the Pacific. And then we have an attack into Rhodesia by the German East African and German South African units. And then we have the main attacks against Russia. So I've split these up. I've split the East Prussian forces into 2 armies, excluding the 86th Army from Eastern Germany. So we have the 91st Army, which consists of 3 infantry, 2 artillery, and 1 fighter. And then we have the 84th Army, which consists of 2 infantry and 1 artillery and 1 heavy artillery. Along with those, so the 91st will go attack Lithuania, and the 84th into Grodno province, I think that's what it's called. Along with those, a fighter and cavalry from Eastern Germany will go and attack into Lithuania, alongside an infantry, a heavy artillery, and 2 dreadnoughts conducting an amphibious assault into Lithuania. Then let's change this heavy artillery out for a regular artillery, actually. So it's a regular artillery and an infantry from Eastern Germany into Lithuania. And then a German fighter from Saxony also accompanies into Grodno province. Before I forget, these 3 infantry are removed from Grodno province due to the random event, and along with 1 from Lithuania. And these will become Russian regular infantry. I just had trench fighters to mark these out, but they go back on the place units. Sorry, there we go. Back to the Russian reserves. The 1 cavalry from Eastern Germany joins the 84th Army and the 86th Army in Grodno province. Alright, so we have these attacks, and I have these attacks up here, just simplified, so it's a little bit easier to see. Then going into Congress Poland will be 4 infantry from Saxony and an observation balloon paired with heavy artillery, or I think it's 2 heavy artillery and 2 artillery. Yes, it is. Perfect. Those should be all the land attacks against Russia. And then I think I've listed all the other attacks that Germany will do. So, let us start rolling, I guess. I will start off with the seaplane. Attacks at a 3 or less, I'm quite certain. Against the Russian sub, which doesn't get to defend. 2 hit, quite nice. So the coastal sub dies and the seaplane returns to Western Germany. Then we have, let's see. Let's do this attack in the south. We have 1, 2, 3. This isn't desert, right? No. So we have 3 colonials at 1, while we have 1 infantry attacking at a 2. And then 1 defending infantry, which would be this blue one, at a 4 in Rhodesia. So let us all roll this. We have 1 hit, and the defense also gets 1 hit. So British infantry dies alongside 1 colonial. So Rhodesia is taken by 2 colonial and 1 infantry, 1 German infantry. So this becomes German, and Britain goes down 1 IPP, currently to 3. And then Germany goes up. Wait, Germany is at their wartime currently, so I think that's 35, but I will double check. 35. So 35 plus 1 to 36 due to Rhodesia. Next we have, I think I'll leave the convoy rating last. So we have the attrition into Lorraine by 5 artillery at a 1. So we can take 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's more than 5. Haha. There we go. 5 dice at 1. Yeah, no. They all miss. So the attrition was unsuccessful. Then we have the Zeppelin bombing the Parisian factory at a 6. So from a 3 to 6, I think it does damage, while 1 to 2 is retreat. Or no, sorry. For a 1 to 4, it does damage, and a 5 or 6 is retreat. That's what I wanted to say. So 2. I'll just double check Zeppelins, but I think, yeah, a 1 to 4. So that does 2 damage and lands back in Western Germany due to the airship base. So we'll just grab factory damage markers and add 2 damage onto Parisian factory. Not 5. 2. There we go. There we go. Nice. So that is complete. Let us do the attack into Congress Poland. So we can move these units. Ooh. Did I? Yeah, I think that should be correct. I might have picked up a unit, but I will check. Heavy artillery, attack at a 6. These at 4. Observation balloon boosts artillery to 5. Infantry defense at 4. I think I picked up 1 infantry. Might have. No, there shouldn't have been an infantry here, other than the ones in the armies. So should be 4 infantry. All right. So we'll roll the artillery first strikes. We have 1 at a 4, 1 at a 5, and 2 at a 6 to see if we get any hits. So we roll 1 at a 5. Oh, 1 at a 4. Hit. All right. No need to roll anything else. The artillery is first striked, and Grodno province falls. Let's place this down here for now. So that is 1 IPP up for Germany. We'll take a German occupation marker. 1 IPP up for Germany, and 1 down for Russia. Let us pick up these units. Observation balloon stays, of course. All right. Now, the attack into Grodno province. Or sorry, yeah, Congress Poland falls, yeah. So now the attack into Grodno province. We'll have, or sorry, I already have this set up on the, over here. That's 1 fighter from Saxony, a cavalry from Eastern Germany, then the 86th and the 84th Army. Should be everything. An 84th Army. Yep. So let us move this to the battle board. The artillery defends at a 5 due to the fighter. Then we have 2 cavalry defending at a 2. And we are attacking with 6 infantry at a 2, cavalry at a 3, and I think, wait, 2 heavy artillery and 1 regular artillery, with a fighter boosting the regular artillery up to 5. And then 1, 2, 3. 3 things are boosted, so we will boost cavalry to 4, along with 2 infantry to 3. So we'll roll our first strikes, 1 at a 5, and we have 2 at 6. That is 1 hit. So I'm guessing the plane is first striked. And I'm quite sure then the artillery isn't boosted to a 5 because it was first striked, but the artillery still gets, of course, to respond in the first strike. So an artillery at a 4, a 1. So we will take off. Our fighter, moving this artillery down to 4. Then we will continue the attack, or attack with the rest of the units. So 4 at 2, 2 at 3, and 1 at 4. That is 1 hit that we got. So that's 1 cavalry. And then 2 cavalry will roll their defense. Oh, 2 1s? What is this? Alright, 2 hits. That's, let's see. We'll take off a cavalry, and we'll take off an infantry. We continue the battle. We have 3 at 2. Misses. 2 at 3. Or sorry. We had 3 at 3. It doesn't matter. None of them got any close. Then we have 1 artillery at a 4. Got a hit. And 2 heavy artillery at a 6. Both miss. Oh, so only 1 hit again. So that's the Russian cavalry. And then we have the artillery responding. Both miss. So the cavalry is taken as a casualty. And we have last round of combat. We need 1 more hit in order to take the territory. We have these units. 1 hit is need. We got the one we needed. So the artillery responds at a 4. Miss. All right. So Grodno province is taken with I think 1 infantry, 1 cavalry, and 1 fighter German as casualty. I will just leave the surviving units here. So we managed to take Grodno province. Let's remove these. Grodno province is not worth any IPP, so Germany does not go up anything. Then the last main attack into Russia is cavalry from Eastern Germany, fighter as well, along with the 91st Army in East Prussia, and then an artillery and infantry and 2 dreadnoughts amphibiously assaulting Lithuania. So I will just copy this, paste that here. This artillery in the amphibious assault does not get to join until the 2nd round of combat. But there are still 2 bombards at 4. I guess we'll put them here. So we have 4 infantry at a 2. Cavalry at a 3, 2 fighters, boosting 2 artillery to 5, and 1 artillery attacks at a 4. And then the defense is a fighter, an infantry at a 4, cavalry at a 3, oh no, sorry, cavalry at a 2, fighter boosting the defense of the artillery, to a 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 units. Or sorry. Yeah, 3 units are boosted. So that's the cavalry to a 4 and 2 infantry to a 3. Let us roll the first strikes. So we have 1, 2, 3 first strikes at a 4. One hit. And 2 first strikes at a 5. Both miss. Wow, this is very unlucky. So we have 1 first strike hit. That should be the fighter. So the artillery defends at a 4, I think, is first strike. The artillery first strike. Miss. Now we continue on with the combat with the 3 units surviving. We have 2 infantry at a 2, 2 at a 3, 1 cavalry at a 4. There we go. No hits. All right. Oh, wait. I brought in the artillery. Oops. Well, this artillery doesn't join. I'm not sure if this is the one that got the hit. This was the one that got the hit because both of these missed. Or actually, whether it was one of the dreadnoughts that got the hit. But we can change that later. I don't think it mattered because the artillery missed anyways. So that didn't affect it too much. But we can decide what happens later. All right. Now for the defense. Cavalry at a 2. And we have 2 units at... Or sorry, that already rolled. We have a cavalry at a 2 and an infantry at a 4. Both miss. Now, for the second round of combat, we have 2 infantry at a 2, 2 infantry at a 3. Now the artillery does join, and the dreadnoughts are taken away. So we have 2 units at a 4. And 2 units at a 5. That's 1, 2 hits. Yeah. That is not all we need. So, cavalry's taken first, and then artillery, as Sir Adrian wanted the infantry to stay alive as long as possible. So we roll their defense. 2 at 4, and we have 1 at 2. All miss. So now we have 1 infantry remaining, and it's the last round of combat. So we roll again. And we have 1 hit at least. 2, 3, 4 hits. Why couldn't we have that at the start? Oh well. And we have 1 infantry defending at a 4. Miss. Alright. So I don't think the Russians took any casualties at all, and we managed to take Lithuania. Perfect. All right. So Lithuania is also not worth an IPP, so Germany just takes it without influencing, the income. Oh yeah, the chlorine gas was not used in Congress Poland. It just moves along. It's just moved along. It's not used. We have the 91st Army here. I will put these up on the board afterwards. What happened here? Yep. Now for the other attacks by Germany, which is convoy raiding. First, torpedo boat destroyer will go and attack the Australian convoy line and convoy raid due to the optional rule. Same with the torpedo boat destroyer here. And the German cruiser splits up into a cruiser raider. Let's get those markers out. 4 of these. So they all have +1. So we will take a red dice and be the attacker with the +1 modifier. This one. Nothing. Now the torpedo boat destroyer. Nothing. Now the cruiser raider in this season. Nothing. And then the torpedo boat destroyer in that season. Nothing. So, unlucky there. No damage. Now we have this cruiser turning into a cruiser raider and splitting up to go attack this convoy line as well as this one here. Or sorry. I think I'm wrong. This might have already been a cruiser raider that was split up. So I will get rid of that. I'm not sure. I don't think it was 2 cruisers. I think it was a cruiser raider already. So let us remove these. And yeah. Oh, this sub still follows along. So red dice again, +1 modifier. That is definitely maxed out. So that's 5 IPP off the British here. That sets them to 1 IPP. Let's see, do you have a convoy damage thing? 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have the coastal sub convoy rating. So I think that line is maxed out. Then we have +1 with the coastal sub. Nothing. Then we have this cruiser raider and submarine moving down here to convoy raid. We have the cruiser raider first at a +1. So that's 3 IPP. So this line is maxed, or this line is not maxed out. We will take 1 IPP off the British and 2 IPP off of the French. So that is all of the British income. And then 2 IPP off the French. And then now for the sub. Oops. The sub, red as well, and it's +2. So that was nothing. There we go. that should be all the attacks Germany has to do. So, for non-combat, Germany will rail 3 infantry from Saxony to Bavaria. Move 1 infantry from Western Germany to Bavaria. And that is all of their non-combat movement. Place units. These were already rolled for. We have 3 infantry going in Bavaria. And 3 infantry going in Western Germany. 1 colonial infantry is placed in German East Africa to collect the IPP. All right, that is it for the German turn. Let's get a rating thing for this. And then we also need to chip this out. We have 3 IPP on the French. Oops. Or sorry, it wasn't 3 IPP. It was... Was it? It was 2 IPP. Because they had 3, yeah. So 3 IPP here, and then for the British, it was 1 IPP on this line. All right, that is it for the British, for the German turn. Now the Germans collect 35 alongside. What are their bonuses? They have +2 for the Netherlands being neutral and +1 for Sweden and Norway. So that's +3 IPP. And then they currently have 37. So Germany collects 40 plus 1 for Chile. So 41. Germany collects 41 IPP for next turn. And that should be it for Germany. Thanks for watching. Now it's off to Britain.